Hi, I'm Suki.
And I'm Claire.
Welcome to Getting Psychic, where you can listen to us use ourselves to test the theory that anyone can get psychic. Hi, Claire.
Hi, Suki.
Okay, here we are, episode 1. I feel like it makes sense to do some more elaborate introductions, so I'll just dig in. I'm Suki, or Susan to some. I'm a small business owner with 2 companies so far. I consider myself to be a baby in my spiritual journey, but I learn fast, so look out. I'm hoping that you can watch the magic unfold for me as we explore different psychic teachers, healing modalities, and as my relationship with Claire unfolds. I really hope that I can bring some humor and compassion to this process that tends to be pretty intense, or that people tend to take pretty seriously. I'll talk about anything from learning to meet my guides for the first time to creating guiding principles for your business, or even having dark energetic attachments in your rectum.
That was a good day.
Yeah.
And I'm Claire. I'm a good witch and life doula. I opened my studio, Magnolia House, in 2009, and all of my work focuses on helping my clients safely unhook from trauma so that they can move into a healthy place of transformation without as many obstacles. I always want to connect into the more when it comes to spirit, source, and psychic abilities, mostly because it just makes life feel so much better when that flow is present. So my hope in our conversations is that the more info that you drag out of me, the bigger the portal gets, and we both get new info and advance into our psychic process.
Yeah, and guess what, kids? It's kind of crazy because we have been recording this podcast for months now, and we're finally just accepting that it's time to launch and it's time to put out in the world. And it is hilarious to listen back to the first episodes, including this one, for editing purposes, and see how far I have already come.
Both of us.
Yeah, there have definitely been some advancements. We're getting psychic.
It's really amazing. And we hope you enjoy all of it.
Yeah. And it's funny because apparently 3 months ago, I said things that are now embarrassing to me, but I'm just going to let it ride. Just in terms of being sheepish about talking about certain subjects.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like, whatever, let's go.
I know when I first started listening, I realized how guarded I was about sharing what I feel and think and already can do. And that's because historically it's judged. And now I don't give a shit because you and I are doing this together.
Yeah. Look at us.
We grow.
I know, it's cool. And I think that's helping us achieve the thing already that we sought out to do for other people. So I can't wait to see how that unfolds.
For the 2 people that listen.
Millions.
Uh-huh.
No, but I feel like you were talking about how you've noticed a lot of your
clients and people I meet.
Clients.
Yeah. There's a real waking up right now. It's, if I could get trippy and hippie, the vibration is really rising. And so many people want to move into and want to tap into this energy and ability that they're feeling like they have, because we all do have it. We all have the ability to talk to our guides and to feel our deepest intuition, connect to source. And I just think it's time, and I'm glad that we're doing this for all of those reasons. People are searching.
Totally. Hi, how have you been?
Hi. It's been an interesting, I don't know, when was the last time I talked to you? Was it like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I mean, I've been kind of trying to avoid you so that we could record our conversations.
That's right. It has, you're like, I don't actually want to talk to you unless it's being recorded.
Yep.
Because we might lose gems.
It's actually true.
I know that's why you're not talking to me. You're like, we're saving it. What if it's funny and awesome?
Yeah.
What if? I mean, I'm on a trip that feels like chaos, but it's fine. It's okay now.
I didn't know if you were working or just to leave Chicago for a month so that you didn't have to deal with a winter, or are you working there?
I've been doing Akashic stuff.
Okay.
I had an amazing, I wrote the most amazing text the other day, and I really wanted to copy and paste it and be like, just had this conversation. But I was like, oh, she's not going to want to know about it right now. Well, because it's one of the things where you'd be like, save it. Save it.
What a control freak.
I think we're going to bounce off of each other energetically to advance and grow and learn.
Yeah. And we're both starting from
different places.
Two pretty different places. You practice healing work as your career. Mm-hmm. And I am also a small business owner, but it doesn't have anything to do with those modalities. But I've always just been intuitive. And I kind of really quickly got to a place in my life, I want to say like starting this summer or in November, where I was like, wait a minute. I've been talking to a medium occasionally for business advice always, because I'm obsessed. But that means that I believe in spirit. And if I believe in spirit and that she can talk to spirit on my behalf, then I believe that I could probably do it. And so then you and I have known each other for a million years, but never super got acquainted. And then we kind of had a couple discussions and decided to do it right here.
Let's get to know each other live.
Yeah, it's going to be really recorded. Intimate and recorded.
Mm-hmm. It's good. Yeah, it's a super, and I guess I'm at the place where I need a pushing forward. You being like, I want to do this. I think the reason that I was just automatically, because the idea of doing this is not in my wheelhouse.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And so, but you being like, I think we should do this. And my automatic, yeah, okay, was a response to knowing that there's some barriers and walls. I haven't been able to move through a few things. And this is going to help it, of just turning up the volume a little and moving through blockages that, I mean, we create for ourselves. Because the thing is, anybody can do this. I truly believe anybody can read the Akashic records. Anybody can talk to their guides. Anybody can, if you work at it, can see auras or tap into something much bigger than themselves. And I think we stop ourselves at a point, either because of just straight up don't believe it, no.
Yeah.
Or whatever, or, I don't deserve to know spirit or whatever it may be.
Well, I think it's interesting for you because you have made this your career. This is definitely your path. And this for you is more like you're dealing with a progress in your career trajectory blockage. And I think that, I don't know, we don't have to discuss past lives immediately, but I feel like I have such like an overwhelming desire in at least this part of my life to like help people. Everything I ever learn, I'm like, you want this? I read this book. This is good. I spend all this time working and sourcing information. I'm like, here. But I feel like, I don't know, part of my little job here is to be like, Claire, come with me.
Yeah.
Just a feeling.
Yeah. I like it.
So I'm trying to figure this out from square one. You already freaking talk to
guides, I don't know, whatever.
But I mean, I think, okay, here's the fucked up thing that I think is so funny that I want to kind of test here. I listened to some podcasts and I've read some stuff and I've like started to dig in my spiritual awakening that's happening rapidly. It's funny to me that all psychics and all mediums are like, anyone can do this. And you just said it. You can access the Akasha, and you're going to have to describe what that actually is, by the way. But it's really funny to me that all you people that can do it are like, man, you can do it.
Yeah.
So what is it?
What is what?
The Akasha.
Oh, I explained the Akasha as it's a place between time and space. It's an area. It's a realm where we can communicate with guides, ancestors. it's the space where they can drop down and we can go up.
Mm-hmm.
And there can be communication between the two. So when I do readings, I can talk to someone's guides and ancestors and teachers so that they can give advice, basically.
Mm-hmm.
You can do past life stuff. I tend to not unless the Akasha tells me to.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, I mean, like, it's a place where you just can receive more information for your highest self and is completely based in pure love and universal energy. It feels amazing to be in. And yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, the space that I go in for each person is completely different. And it's all really beautiful. And talking to somebody's ancestors is the most amazing. But I mean, I learned how to do it.
Yeah.
Somebody taught me.
I was going to say,
I didn't just figure it out. I mean, I'd spoken to my guides, but to do it for other people, I am definitely a human where I need to be told that I learned a thing. Do you know what I mean? If I was just like, well, I'm just hearing things and I'm pretty sure it's this, I'd be like, man, I don't know how to tell people. I mean, I want a thing. I went into it once. It was like, well, you already have everything in you. Like, you already know how to do all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, I don't. Maybe it's in there, but like, I don't know how to access it. Also, if somebody could teach me how to access it and then like give me a piece of paper that says I did it, that would be cool. Just so I know. There's the part of my brain that's like, you don't know anything.
Yeah.
And
that's
so
funny.
I know. So I'm like, well, I got a piece of paper, yo. So check that.
Here's your Akashic certificate.
Exactly. It was emailed to me.
Yeah, that makes me think, okay, so everybody that I listen to or pay attention to that's writing a book or doing a podcast, they are experts in whatever, being psychic or being mediums, right? So I think this is going to be really interesting because there's so many people that are waking up to weird little like life synchronicities right now. Mm-hmm. And I think I get to be the representative for them, where I get to be the one that's not taking anything for granted here. And I have to be like, okay, hang on, Claire, where are you going? What's up there? How do you do it? Who taught you? Like you said, you weren't born knowing how to access like a different dimension.
No.
Would you call it that?
No. Sure. Yeah.
So who taught you?
A couple different people. There were stages. And then like I just straight up took an Akashic record reading class. Yeah. But it was one of those things. Once I took that class, as I was taking it, it was a fucking breeze. Mm-hmm. Which is always one of those things when you're learning how to do something and you're like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And other people are struggling. And you're like, oh, this is a thing that I clearly know. I just needed someone to be like, yeah, that's this thing. And you're like, oh, okay. But I mean, I was always into the weird and witchy. Like I always was doing the things where I'm like, I went on a journey and met my spirit animal and shit like that. So I started learning something called theta healing. And that was the start of, I actually didn't even believe in guides. I didn't believe we all had guides. Yeah. And so I'm in this little workshop and I'm like, wait, do we really all have guides? And she's like, well, yeah. And I was like, and she's like, let's just do a quick meditation. So theta is a brainwave that's really high. And that's like the getting into God realm energy. And it feels super different. You ground and then lift your consciousness up and up. Mm-hmm. And it's like you can feel, I get a physical sensation of rising and like a pressure. And then there's this sense of like, mew, you're like, and you're in. So she's like, we'll go into theta and then just ask how many guides you have. And I was like, okay. So I went into theta and asked, and she's like, how many? I was like, 96. She's like, okay, so what do you think? And I'm like, yeah, that was like, here's the number. It's that thing where it's like, you just get the information. It's not your mind being like, maybe it's 96. It's
Yeah.
It's just them being like, yeah, there's 96. Go back.
Yeah.
So
that is weird. That happened to me. Well, it was a few months ago when I just started experimenting with it. And I was like, wait a minute. If I believe in mediums, and then I Googled how to talk to your own guides.
Yeah.
I'm clearly just scrapping this shit together. So then I found this thing and I was like, okay, I did a meditation. I asked for a name. And leading up to it, I was like, well, my brain's just going to make up a name. I'd make up shit all day long. I literally talk to myself. How do I differentiate? But
you can tell.
I was in the bathtub and I got a name and I was like, well, this is weird. This name it was a different quality. It was like, boop, it like materialized as I felt it just exist. And then it stayed through the whole meditation. And I came out and I was like, well, I guess I got a name. And I could have easily, just like any other human thing, been like, well, I just made that up. And I'm assuming that's a struggle for you as well.
It isn't anymore.
How did it stop being hard? When did you start being able to trust?
Because I got a piece of paper. No, I'm just kidding.
I got a certificate.
Because the piece of paper came to me in the email. It was just a thing that I just know. I'm not making it up.
Yeah.
And that's how it felt. So it was one of those, it was like with everything. I went to school for like acupuncture and Chinese medicine, and I'd put needles in people and be like, sure hope this fucking works.
Yeah.
And I knew it would, but you want to see the actual results. So mostly when I would get feedback that was validating, I would say to somebody, oh, I don't know, I'm seeing these purple flowers about this person. And she'd be like, my grandmother always was wearing purple pansies or whatever. And I'm like, okay, great. Or,
did you say panties or pansies?
Pansies, but I like the idea that it was panties.
Okay, I was going to say
that's weird.
Lovely.
Yeah. Grandma always wore purple panties. But with enough of like, yes, it's like, oh, okay. I now know what it feels like and sounds like.
Yeah. It's like,
then, the more you do it, then it's just like, yeah, that's that. And I don't give a shit if you believe it or not, because I know it's real.
Okay. So I'll say it one little thing. Part of the reason why we're here is also because in my little baby phase of my spirituality or whatever, I went to a sound bath at your studio. And it was funny because prior to maybe even that month, I would have never attended a sound bath in my life, because I told the story about how I made fun of my friend for putting that he meditated on his dating profile.
Yeah, but tell that story because it's not recorded. Because it's good.
Yeah. Okay. So I own a salon and I have for like 14 years. And I was in the salon with my friend, and I think I was probably cutting his hair. And he was talking about his dating profile. And I was like, okay, what's on it? Let me help. Let's get you a girlfriend. And he said that he put meditation on there, and I told him to take it off. And I was embarrassed for him. It was like, well, I don't think that's going to be good. People are going to think you're crazy, which is...
How many years ago was this?
Well, it was definitely like 14 years ago, because that's when Sparrow opened.
Okay.
So it was like right around then.
Okay.
And I love laughing at my former self because it's funny.
Yeah.
But now I'm meditating, I'm grounding, I'm recording this and trying to explore this as much as possible. So I go to the sound bath and I listen to this podcast with two mediums now, which is also a thing that I consumed in like 3 seconds. And they actually explained how energy works and how thereby sound, which creates energy, works to help heal your body. And I was like, oh, I get it. Saw that there was an opportunity, happened to be at your studio. I went, and
dun, dun, dun.
Before I went, I sat in this chair and I said, hey guys, what's up? Anybody with my highest and greatest good in mind, you want to go to the sound bath with me and show me something cool? That's really like how I talk to them. And then I was done and I went to the sound bath they have really been coming through for me. So I was like, something cool happened when I closed my eyes. But what happened was you were sitting there in front of a room of like 13 people in low lighting, and your friend was about to perform sound. What are those machines called, or instruments called?
Bowls.
Honor bowls.
What are those machines?
What are those music machines?
Crystal bowl.
So she's sitting there with her crystal bowls, and you're like talking about the significance of a new moon or some crap. And
you know it.
And I look at you and I see your aura with my eyes open. And I did that. Wait a minute. Is this happening? That, like the instantaneous response is, well, this is not real. Mm-hmm. And then it was like, yeah, it is. And then I was like, thanks, guys. I immediately was like, got it. Okay, the cool thing I got to see before the sound bath even started. And then the sound bath was insane.
Yeah.
And the first note literally had me doing, like, I was elated and I saw myself doing front flips. It was the weirdest fucking thing. And I wanted to like laugh hysterically. Just one note. It was like a really high pitched note.
Yep.
And I was rocketing into ecstasis.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy. So then after, I'm like stoned out of my mind and I say, you're explaining to everyone. You're like, hey, if you're going to drink tonight, take it easy because you get real drunk. And I was like, that student, I was like, why? And then you explained. You want to explain what you said?
I mean, because you move a bunch of energy.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever it is, if a bunch of energy moves and is released, it's like there's a clearness. It's like all of a sudden you're just clear water. And if before there are different layers of gunk and you pour booze in, it doesn't saturate into the clear water as much. But when you get rid of those, it's just like, boop, here's poison.
Yeah.
So.
But what you're describing is basically any detoxifying situation.
Totally. Exactly.
And so the sound is energy and the energy moves energy, thereby detoxifying and healing your body.
Right.
When you explained that, I was like, what? I've definitely fully experienced that after acupuncture. Mm-hmm. You sleep crazy.
Even exercise. I mean, enough exercise will do that. It clears something. It moves something.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
But that really helped to make it make sense for me when you explained that. And I was like, cool. But then I walked up to you after the class and I was like stoned out of my mind. And I was like, I saw something. And you're like, what? And I said, I actually saw your aura. And what I love about you is that any weird stuff I've told you over the past couple months randomly, if we bump into each other, you're like, cool. You're not like, oh, weird, or like,
no way, I don't believe you.
You're just very like,
awesome.
You're like, oh yeah, cool. Like the expectation is there that, yes, of course you could.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, be able to see my aura. Mm-hmm. But I felt like I lost my vision virginity on you, and I felt so lucky and excited.
That's exciting. Have you seen any more since?
No.
Have you tried?
No. You did tell me, well, don't go trying to see everyone's aura. And I was like, okay.
I mean, it's one of those things where I feel, and we've heard this on podcasts, you shut a thing off. You create boundaries and barriers. Yeah. If you're super psychic, you don't want to listen to everyone's brain. You don't want to talk to every single guide. You don't want to see ghosts or spirits
at
everywhere.
All.
Right.
No thanks.
Or, yeah.
Ew.
Ew. So it's the same thing. It's like, don't open too fast. You'll go cuckoo pants.
Yeah. But I'm at a place where I'm
I love that you're like, I would like a gift. And they're like, cool. Here.
Yeah. They really come through for me.
I know. It's one of those things. I mean, this plays into the whole like manifesting thing. I mean, I don't think it's easy to manifest $1 million, but you might be able to manifest the idea that could get you there. But
yeah,
I have found if we ask for things that fit into moving into our highest self continuously, like it's going to be given, because that's the point, is you just keep moving into your highest self. Just Keep advancing.
Yeah.
Don't stagnate.
I feel like I have, you know how some people have a hard time with boundaries?
Indeed.
Like, they're like porous.
I'm a Pisces, and so historically I had a very bad time with boundaries.
Ah, I see. Well, I have
learned.
like the opposite problem, maybe.
Mhm.
I'm like, boundaries. Love them.
Mhm.
I love them.
Mhm.
They're my friend. But then I'm like, is my like natural or learned inclination towards strong boundaries going to inhibit this pursuit? Does your human personality cross over into the way you interact with
Well,
the spirit world?
I mean, you as a human have already transformed into somebody who thinks putting meditation on a dating app is gonna do you bad, to somebody who's like, I saw your aura at the sound bath.
Yeah, it was cool.
So
I'm gonna get like a t-shirt. I think I told you this. I want to make a t-shirt that says I'd rather be at a sound bath.
That's amazing.
Just to really drive it home and look like a asshole.
I love it. But really, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
They can get fucking intense, man.
So like, I've heard.
I've had to leave the room. The first sound bath I went to, it was a gong bath, and it was just a big gong being rung. And
that doesn't sound cute, honestly.
It wasn't, but people love it. People love it. But this was one of those things where there have been multiple occasions where I haven't listened to my guides that are fucking warning me. And one of them was, I went to a gong bath and I was laying there and it hadn't even started. And I just got this, get out of the room. You don't want to do this. And I was like, God, I really am being lazy. If I am like, I don't want to be here, I'm just going to go home. I was like, that's silly. I paid. I'm here. Why do I want to leave? And it'd be like, go, go, go. It starts and it's like, get up and leave the room over and over again. And I didn't. And my sacrum throughout the entire thing started locking up. My body got so uncomfortable. So I have MS. And well, at that time, I walked with a walking stick. Now I'm in a chair. But at the time, I was actually walking very fluidly, but with the assistance of a cane. And when I left, when I didn't listen and I left, my entire body was seized up and all of the flow of movement was gone.
What the fuck?
It sucked. It ruined a lot. And my guides were sitting there being like, get out of here.
We told you.
Uh-huh. And I was like, yeah.
Could you play a different sound and reverse it? Like, what the fuck? Did it just
I know.
The wrong energy?
Well, that sound went to the first chakra, like that sacrum. And I think looking at it now, I'm like, my body energetically is so unbelievably sensitive. Like sometimes during the sound baths at my studio, I do the opening and closing meditations, and then Venus plays the bowls. And I've left the room because my body's like, like, really? Because it's just moving so much and I'm really sensitive. And so if it moves too much, it just becomes very uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
Physically. And I mean, if it was just emotional, I could roll with that. I'm like, yeah, make me cry. I don't care. Make me laugh, all of those things. But like, it actually starts like seizing parts of my body up. And I think that has to do with, in a way, I think in theory, it's good. Things are moving and it's trying to find its balance. I mean, I find getting work done to often be really painful because I'm feeling energy moving through and getting stuck and then breaking apart, which isn't an awesome feeling.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where this gong, it only did this and there wasn't an answer.
Yeah.
If maybe it was the first chakra and then the seventh chakra, it's like you can connect it, but it was just this huge thing and it fucked me up. It fucked my body up. It was a real bummer.
That's crazy.
But that was one of the couple times that I have not listened. And
yes,
And then they were like, you should have. So.
Okay, that makes me want to ask. So recently we talked and you did describe the quality, the difference between
your mind and your guides.
And I spent some time with that, just thinking about it since the last time we talked. And I have settled on that's definitely not how it's working for me yet. You described the quality. I think that you described when it's your guides, it's like coming from in like somewhere
like
lower.
Solar plexus.
Yeah. It's coming. Okay. And for people that don't know about chakras, we can describe that. And I want to also talk about energy as like the building block for this conversation. But I don't have that. But I know
what does it feel like for you?
Well, I get just kind of knowing.
Yeah.
But I have not differentiated the quality of it yet. And another interesting thing is I know that I have like little neurotic thinking patterns. That's not self-critical. It's just whatever. I will almost like fuck with myself as if I'm mimicking a guide. If I have a thought and I'm like, don't turn left. And then I say to myself, well, you shouldn't turn left. Or I speak as if I'm speaking to myself in thought. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to keep doing that, it's going to be harder to differentiate because it's a neurotic. Where's this coming from? Is this coming from you? You shouldn't do that.
But so that right there, where's this coming from? Is this coming from you? That's your mind.
Yeah, duh.
Yeah, duh. Well, when it's just do this, do that, that's what it feels like with guides.
But I know that I also say that stuff to myself.
Go left? Well, you know that you're supposed to turn left because that's how you get to the studio.
I'll think of an appropriate example to describe it. But that leads me to the fact that part of this little experiment is that we're going to start working with teachers.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And I'll ask our teacher if we can say her name. I'm sure we can, but I'm just not going to do it right now. So then I don't have to edit. But she is a pretty noteworthy medium. And in April, we're both going to start getting coaching and we're really excited, but no, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm into it.
I don't think anyone knows, but I think it's going to be good.
Yeah. God, but April is going to be insane.
Mine?
You also are going on to
go poop my pants with a bunch of strangers in linen.
Do you all have to wear linen? Is that a part of the rule?
It's just what I envision. No, my friend that's going with me, we keep, that clothing line from like the 80s or 90s. I think it's called Flax or something. It's just like flowy linen outfits for ladies with bold glasses.
Oh my God, I don't, but I wish I did.
So this is just like the vision that we have for ourselves. We're going to start going to women's retreats and pooping our linen pants, doing ayahuasca. And then when we retire, we'll travel around and wear our linen outfits and,
stained linen.
Yeah. And I also look very much forward to sharing that experience because, like, what am I doing?
So
like,
exciting.
Why did I decide? I guess I don't do anything half-assed. I'm like 0 to ayahuasca.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. I have so much catching up to do. I didn't believe in meditation 10 seconds ago. So now I have a medium coach and I'm doing this. On that note, I think this is a good place to stop.
Okay, boss.
Okay. Bye, Claire. Love you.
Bye, Suki. Love you.
Thanks so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's weird conversation as much as we did. Be sure to subscribe or follow us wherever you get your podcasts. If you liked today's episode, please consider leaving us a review to help others discover our podcast and join our club.